Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jam Box.
This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jam Box. We're here and we're back at it again, and I'm super excited. So let's go ahead and get the easy stuff out of the way. As always, if you like what you heard, you like what you're hearing, and you think you're going to like what you're going to hear next, hit the follow button, hit the 5 stars, like, subscribe, ring the bell, I think is something Soup said the other day. Let's go with that. Make all the things happen. I believe in you. But now, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here's today's guest.
What's happening, everybody? This is Raymond Barnett, a.k.a. TL, a.k.a. BJ, a.k.a. so many names I have. I'm dodging the FBI, folks. Let's keep it to about a 6-name minimum. What's going on, Portland?
Hello. We're super glad to have you.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about, where you're from, what you do. Give us that, Tinder profile of your involvement with music.
Yeah, absolutely. So originally I'm from Washington, D.C., Southeast Washington, D.C., Minnesota Avenue. Grew up in the later, I say around maybe 5 years old, we ended up in Michigan. Started from 16 writing music, really just honing my craft, me being a young guy. Came all the way out to Spokane in 2018. Started really getting back into music, and then it wasn't until I got to Portland in 2020, crazy parts. It happened right during COVID. Everything was changing.
The best time to be moving.
The best time to to really figure out exactly what you wanted to do, and I wanted to go to the West Coast, man. I knew eventually I was going to end up in LA, but I wanted to go to Portland because Portland was such a really positive scene. I had heard so many great things about it. And from then on, I started just working, really working to perfect my sound, and not only perfect my sound, find out who I am, maybe experiment a little bit more, dabble into some singing and stuff. Started learning how to write music more, started singing, started doing tracking, learning how to mix, how to record, pretty much the whole 9. And I can honestly thank the whole pandemic. And, unfortunately, I know a lot of people lost their lives and shit like that, and I ended up with COVID too. So I'm not, playing with that, but I'm thankful that I found a moment to really seize an opportunity that I've been dreaming about since I was a kid. And I'm thankful to be here now.
Hell yeah. That's really powerful.
Thank you.
Do you play any instruments?
Someone played the guitar. I'm not that great at it. And I've been dabbling with the piano. I'm not the greatest.
Hey, I mean, we all got to start somewhere for sure.
Yeah, everybody.
For sure.
I'm still a novice, and that's cool. I'm totally okay with that, but I'm still learning. I want to get better at it, though.
Learning is important in general.
Absolutely, 100%.
Now, what got you into music initially?
I'd say around the age of 9. 9 or 10, I was listening to a lot of my mom's old records and stuff. My mom and my dad, huge Tupac fans, NWA, Wu-Tang Clan, and then from the beginning, even my mom was playing R&B stuff. You know what I mean? A lot of Deborah Cox, some Monica, some TLC. It was always a lot of music playing in the house, man.
Yeah.
So 100%.
Yeah, it sounds like you were definitely raised on some good stuff.
Some really good stuff, man. So I ended up really getting a feel for music and started understanding how it sounds sonically, I guess. And then from then on, I also got introduced to Eminem. I was really young. And then so from then on, I ended up in poetry. I was in poetry for like a while.
Okay.
It was something that I honestly just like sprung it up. Like one time they're like, we need you to present something. And I did a poem like on the spot, like right there.
Okay.
And my teacher liked it, but I bullshitted the whole thing, man. Like, but it became something that I got into, and I was like, this is kind of cool.
Nice.
So it went from like admiration of music to poetry, and then from poetry it went on to like writing my first rap at like 13. 13, I had like found a way to like take a laptop or stuff. They was like handing out laptops for the students at like one of the schools I was at. And I took a laptop. I was in the little library, you know, talked to the librarian, can I use your office or whatever. She even had got me a snowball mic.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to cool librarians.
Shout out to the cool librarians.
Miss Moctezuma, if you're out there, you were integral in my childhood. Cool librarians are the shit. That's awesome.
100%, yo. She was the first person to like really get me like to understand like mics and shit like that. Never knew anything about them, but the snowball was so cool to me. You know what I mean? I'm still a kid, and I'm like seeing a mic. Like, what?
Yeah.
This is.
Yeah, you get to hear you back.
Yeah.
Like the first time you hear that recording of you, and you're like, oh my gosh, is that what I sound like?
Exactly.
Like that whole.
It's a shock.
Yeah.
It's like a wow. Like that's me. I'm doing this now. You know.
Well, I always like to think that like creating music it only truly exists audibly, like the sound, like, you know, even the record itself is not the music itself. So the only way it can ever be presented is to hear it. So to be able to have that first experience where you get to manipulate how, like, you get the opportunity to like to present it to people without having to do it every time. That's powerful. That
100%.
hits different.
It's definitely something that I've like learned to really hone in on. It's a part of the reason why like I make music the way I do now. I connect. You know, I want to connect. I want people to be able to feel what I'm going through, and if it resonates with you, then I would, let's share a moment together.
Exactly.
You know? It's all about that, and so it's really integral to me to be able to push that, to always not only try to connect, but to speak to my audience. If a friend of mine was like, he was like, bro, I look at your music differently, because I was trying a lot of different shit, and I wasn't really sure like what I wanted to do, where I was gonna go. You know, the whole like the boom bap shit. Like I'm a rapper, you know, I can boom bap rap, you know, with the rest of them. I can be a rapidy rap ass, whatever, you know. I can do these things, you know, even with like the trap and all that shit. Like, but he said that, you know, when it comes to your music, it's like it can take shape in any kind of form. You know what I mean? It could be a rap song, or it could be a R&B song. And it's like, because of who you are, it fits a certain mold that I think people can really resonate with. And I was like, well, break it down for me a little bit more. You know, I didn't really. And he was like, well, I would say that, you know, when it comes to your music, it's like a conversation with a good friend. And I was like, damn, that really hit home for me, because like ultimately, I don't want to look at this as just a transaction, man. Like, it can't be. You don't want that. You want to be able to connect with people, and you want to be able to like make fans care.
Well, that, and I think like, because there's definitely a shared grip of opinions on like how to approach music, either like for the people or for yourself, or like a mixture of the two and things like that. And we're actually gonna touch on some of that stuff a little later in this interview. So I'm gonna sidebar it for just a minute.
Okay.
So we can get a couple. We've come up to the recurring questions that are some of the crowd favorites. Yeah. So let's knock out a couple of these, and we're gonna dive into some real cool stuff.
Absolutely.
Y'all aren't ready for this.
Let's do it.
This is one we ask every time. It's really like, is a crowd favorite for sure. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
Ooh. Huh. Hold on, let me think back. Bought or?
Yes, that you bought with your own money.
Okay. Encore by Eminem.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, that is a surprising amount of guests on this show's first like artist. Like, it's always like slightly different albums, but it's always Eminem seems to be a recurring entity on this.
Yeah, it was the first like artist that I was able to like finally like know about,
Yeah.
and then finally say I'm old enough to like listen to this music now.
Okay.
You know, I was like, what, 9 when I first heard them and shit.
Yeah.
And this is like, I was like, I was like 7 or 8. So it was like 99. It was right around the time he had just dropped this Slim Shady LP.
Okay.
The EP off the LP. I think it was the LP.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wasn't really able to listen to that music. But when I got older, I finally like,
Yeah.
and I was like, all right, let me get this shit.
Oh, man, do you remember when you get to go back and listen to like stuff that you weren't allowed to as a kid? And you're like,
man,
I get it now. And
You
then some of them
finally-
you're like, I don't get it.
So,
Like, why did I get to
yeah.
listen to this, but not this?
it took a minute. It took a minute to finally be like, well, I'm here now. I
Yep.
finally get to listen to it now.
Yep.
I was like, you know what? Let me not be upset about it. Let me just like enjoy the music and bask in the fact
Yeah.
that I finally get to do this now. Like
Yeah.
no one's over my shoulder. Like, what are you listening to? You know?
Hell yeah. And tell us about the first show you ever went to. And we'll kind of keep in the same concept, like the first one that you like wanted to go to that you went to.
Oh man, this is gonna be a surprising answer. My first concert that I went to that I actually wanted to go to was a Kehlani concert.
Okay.
Yeah, surprising.
How was that?
It was an experience. It was cool. It was fun. It was the first time I got introduced to LMA. And man, she was this was before like the whole boot up. Like so she had boot up on a EP. She did like a set of EPs. She did like 3, and this is like when DJ Mustard was like co-signing the shit out of her.
Gotcha. Yeah,
So this is all DJ Mustard's like, you know what I mean, beats and shit. And so she's like doing boot up on one of the EPs before like the album dropped, the video, the song, all that. And I remember like Ella looked at me, nobody's gonna believe me, but I believe that it happened that way because I wasn't drunk, I wasn't high, I was in the moment. Ella's singing the song and she looked dead at me and I could feel me smiling. It's so crazy, like ear to ear smiling.
Yep.
And she looks at me and smiles so hard because
Yeah.
I'm cheesing my ass off.
Yep.
I have that moment.
That's
you know what I'm saying? I
powerful.
don't care what nobody say. That moment's still stuck in my brain, bro. But it was a really dope concert because, like, for one, it showed me like how a performer really gets into it. Like, there's the performing the song in the studio, but when you're on stage, it's a completely different. Like, you have to almost live it like a play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
have to do the dancing. You have to do the like there's so much to choreography that I respect that like plays a part in the music and the performance. I'm like, you got me hooked.
Yeah.
I'm sold. You know.
No, totally. Now, let's go ahead and dive on into it. Let's get to know you as the artist.
Let's do it. Yeah.
And I mean, usually we ask people how they pick their name. I'm gonna go on I'm gonna go on a limb here
Yeah.
and say it's your name.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
It's my middle name and my last name. Not my like. Okay. So like, there's a thing. I'm trying to like change my last name.
Okay.
But it's a family name. And it's my name, so it's basically my name.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Now we're gonna kind of dive right in on this one. Describe your writing process. Do you have like a place or like a person or like how do you go about putting together your music?
Usually it's wherever I feel the most comfortable. Sometimes it happens like in the moment, depending on like if I'm listening to some beats or a beat. Sometimes it's on the shitter. Sometimes it's in the shower.
I mean, bathroom acoustics.
Bathroom
That's all I'm gonna
acoustics.
say.
You know what I'm saying?
That's all I'm
Like
gonna
you
say.
really can push out a note if you just relax. You know what I mean? You gotta relax. And once you're relaxed, that shit'll come to you nice. You know what I'm saying? A real easy. No pun intended.
I was gonna say there was that whole explanation was poetry. It was so beautiful.
You know what I'm saying?
Clearly, you're a cunning linguist.
I was in a moment where like I was driving to Spokane and I was like trying to come up. I was just listening to beats, and that was kind of the only thing I could listen to because my phone wouldn't get no fucking service. But I'm listening to beats and shit, and I'm like, and then all of a sudden the melody just hits me.
Yep.
Like melodies for me, like is what like is my bread and butter, and I feel like 100% if that's my bag. I'm going to go in that bag every single time, and I'm going to slaughter what's in that side, inside that bag. And so it was like a moment I was like, oh, I heard this melody, and I'm like coming up with shit on the spot. And I'm driving, but like I'm trying to find something. Like I'm trying to grab a pen or some shit, and I'm like trying to write it on my hand while like balancing the steering wheel with my forearm.
Oh God!
And I'm like swerving, like, and this is a rental car. This was a rental, so it wasn't even my whip at the time. It was like literally a rental that like
At the time.
I
wonder where this story's going.
So like I'm trying to stay on the road, and I can't because I'm too focused on this song, and I'm like, I need to like pull over or something and just get this note out. And I finally did. I'm like, yo, let me pull over and just get the note out. And so I was like, then I'm like, ooh, and I'm like, yeah, and it's that rush you get, you know what I mean? So I've wrote some music in some really obscure places, man. But usually it depends on the mood, it depends on the atmosphere, it depends on how I'm feeling. And there are some days where like I could ponder on some shit and not write anything for like maybe a few weeks, months at a time. And it could just be me like trying to perfect the melody. You know what I mean? It's like little things. As long as I stay in it, I'm fine.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now this one's kind of a more of a broad stroke question. Out of your entire discography that's currently available that people can go and listen to as soon as they hear this episode.
Yeah.
What song do you think represents you best as an artist right now?
You mean like right now or like right now?
Just like I said, out of your current available work.
So the lane that I'm in is definitely on like a Wise Woman vibe. Like it's like the really catchy melodic hook with some bars to it. Make it a little bit amped up so that people can actually enjoy it. I want to make songs like a Hey Ya. So I say Wise Woman is like my Hey Ya, and it's more representative of like who I am as an artist and who I'm going to be like from here on out.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I've heard that every time somebody suggests the track that they think is the dopest one, they usually end up getting listened to everything else on there. So, and I mean, it's definitely a banger. So definitely go check it out, y'all.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about your upcoming EP. I believe it's called It's Rarely Gloomy on Overton.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
But before we do that, I arranged something a little bit special.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we'll be right back, y'all.
Okay.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! I'm back.
That's right. We flew Nate all the way in
we
here.
We got the goat in the building.
Yes,
we got
sir.
the fucking goat in the building.
Yes, sir. Oh.
I smacked myself in the face with the mic.
That's how you know it's real, folks. That's how you know it's real. All right, y'all. Why don't you go ahead and, like I said, tell us a little bit about what you got coming up.
You start. Yeah.
All right, cool. So we got this project going on. It's called It's Rarely Gloomy on Overton, and what we both had like in mind for it was to pretty much repurpose all of the songs that we got. You know what I mean? I got Wise Woman, Humility, In Control, Roof, Like the Rest of the World. And we're also going to, throw Shopping in there too. Reintroduce the songs into a new market, pretty much get people to attract to the music, to the content more so than just the music. The music can be a bonus, get people attracted to the content, really tell a story, you know what I mean? The purpose of this whole thing was to really shed light on like the mode or moods I would say I was in the times I wrote the songs. And each one of the moods that I wrote these particular songs was pretty much like a gloomy kind of mood, but they had like up-tempo, vibes to them. Some of them was kind of like more up-tempo than most, but overall, like a lot of them was like real up-tempo beats, but there was like a gloomy message behind them. So I wanted to shed light on pretty much those songs and let them be a representation of the music that I had made while living on Overton. Overton is over in the Alphabet District in Northwest Portland. And honestly, it was one of them things where like the spur of the moment, like the moment we started shooting, like the title just came up out of nowhere. And I was like, all right, yeah, I think that's going to be the title, you know what I'm saying? But Nate could probably better explain, like, the backdrops, like, the whole scenery and everything, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it was kind of... Me and Raymond, like, vibed right off the start when we first started working together, just because our creative visions aligned. So when we started working together, I felt like it was easy to trust him creatively and not to, like, take what he just said and make it disingenuous. But I'm kind of looking at it from a marketing side. And we're like really like trying to strategize this whole EP as something new. Like he said, we're taking songs he already has out. And I think, Jimmy, we even talked about this on the podcast, is that at this level, it's always new to someone that hasn't seen it before or listened to it before. So we're trying to just like really get songs out there until they're really start getting heard.
Yeah, because I'm not going to lie to you, like me and Nate had talked about it. I was kind of like not really wanting to do it just because like they were already songs that were previously out, you know what I mean? I already did like maybe a 15-second promo spot or something, but it wasn't really anything like serious or major. It was just like one of them things where I was like, all right, let me just do it and put the music out and then yeah, that's it. But he honestly, like, cause it was all him, you know what I mean? He said, yo, let's put this new content out for these songs you already got. And then I was like, well, shit, why don't we just make it an EP? And then the EP idea came, and from then on, it's honestly been like a thrill ride, because the ideas that we've been coming up with, the shit that we've been shooting, it's like real, like, honestly, probably some of like the best content I've ever done, like overall. Because like I'm in it to perform the music, not just to perform the music, but like to perform the music and to also like give a little bit of a backstory on the songs. So I'm able to like do a talk piece about the songs that I'm doing, what the song meant to me, where I was during that time period, you know, like where my head was, and to pretty much give some unknown facts about each one of the songs. And yeah, it's been a blessing and an honor to work with him, and I'm excited to put this shit out for everybody to see again. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah! How did you two meet originally?
He just DM'd me just like looking for a music video, but I don't think I was his first choice.
It was happenstance, to be honest. It was straight happenstance. I want to tell the story, but like I don't want to seem like I'm shading, because I'm not shading. I'm just.
He had reached out to other videographers that didn't reach back out.
Yeah, I mean that's how it happens. That's how it happens. You got to cast a wide net, you know.
Yeah, we just aligned. Our visions aligned.
Shit just didn't work out, and then you know we came together, and I actually noticed that he was like looking at like my content. And I was like, oh, let me check this dude out right quick. Looked at the content. I was like, all right, cool. We can definitely like fuck with this, and it's been cool. First video we did was Wise Woman.
The rest was history.
I've been with
the rest was history.
Yeah, man. Like, and it was like one of the moments we like sat around trying to drive around different parts of Portland and like come up with like, yo, what about this spot right here? Like, what about this? And we went to the Motor Center, and then we went to the Broadway Bridge. You know what I mean? Like jumping in and out of traffic trying to get the shot, man.
Hell yeah.
That's some of like my most. I was gonna say tender moments. I don't even know. It's a special moment to me, because like it was two people trying to put ideas together.
Yeah,
we were working, but like we were also working together. You
and
know
it was similar ideas too.
Yeah.
I remember the example he sent me was "Rich Spirit" by Kendrick Lamar, which is just like the vision I want to be able to create in my career. Like it's super cinematic. It was, and I just knew instantly like. Yeah, I've been trying to shoot this like style like this for a while.
Hey, when you find the people that want to do things with you creatively, not because they want to be a part of your creativity, but because they know that yours and theirs will work together, that's when like the coolest stuff happens.
100%.
Yeah, like 100%. Collaborative efforts where you both are doing your own thing, but in ways that work together. That's always really cool.
Because it's ultimately about achieving a goal. well, not even ultimately about that. I would say it's about achieving a goal, but it's ultimately about like being able to say, what can we like
accomplish?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, are we? Let's find a common ground to work on, and let's just see where we go. Let's expand and see how far we both can go, and then if we meet in the middle, like boom, we got an idea. Like we got something. You know what I mean? Even if it's not 100% mine or 100% his, it's like we say fuck all of that and like let's just come up with an idea. You know what I mean? Something solid.
I love that.
And that's pretty much how we've been able to work.
Hell yeah. Oh, speaking of which, I think Nate's got something super important he's got to get to, some kind of shoot or fancy thing. So we're going to kick him on out of it and get back to your part of the interview. But Nate, thank you so much for joining us for that portion of it. Really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. We'll be right back again, y'all. All right, we're back, everybody. That was fun. Nate's a cool dude. Glad he was able to stop by for a moment.
Hell yeah.
Hell
It's
yeah.
my dog, man.
Also, shout out to Why Not Nate on
Shout out
Instagram.
Why Not
Definitely
Nate.
definitely make it happen. He's on YouTube, I'm sure, as well.
Follow that
also,
man.
Why Not Nate?
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah, I imagine if he was here and not off doing a super busy thing, he would also say it was Why Not Nate on YouTube as well. So there we go. But let's get back into it.
For sure.
Being a full-time musician, it's kind of it's a struggle. It's a lot to do. You got a lot you need to juggle. How do you find time to balance like taking care of yourself, being a dad, taking care of your mental health? Like, how do you do all of it?
Man, to be honest with you, I'm still figuring it out. I actually take advice from a couple of guys I know. My guy Elliot Bless, shout out Elliot Bless. Lord Lawrence, shout out Lord Lawrence. You know what I mean? Me and him just chopped it up last week about like dad duty and like life as a dad and
man, that guy's always putting in the work for that.
Man, and like there's some shit. Honestly, I respect that shit so much because like it made me feel better about it. Being a new dad, it's all about honestly having a partner that can like help me figure that shit out. And my partner, honestly, man, I love her. She's honestly been like the best thing that's happened to me. We might have had like a lot of riffs and shit like that, you know what I mean? But like, honestly, she supports the shit out of this 100%.
Oh, that's so important.
It really is. And having someone that can support it makes it easier for me to figure this shit out.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm not trying to like, I'm not betting on this. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I'm on a time limit. I gotta hurry because I gotta be a dad and I also need to like lock in on something that's more practical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if this shit doesn't pan out, but it's like I don't look at it that way and she doesn't. So she usually helps me with the scheduling. Like, you know what I mean? She's like, get a calendar. And I got a calendar.
Yep.
I was like, I finally got a calendar, babe. She's like, I fucking told you to get a calendar. And so I get the calendar. I'm able to like balance time with them and to be able to like be there when I need to. You know what I mean? To have the time to like say, all right, this is time for recording or writing, or I'm gonna set some time up for content stuff. I'll give them a call because right now they're over in the Mariana Islands, man. They've been there for a little bit, so I'll schedule time for me to do content. Like, all right, let's go talk to the fam. Like, all right, babe, I'm gonna have to talk to you a little later. I'm gonna go shoot some more content. Okay, talk to me, you know, when I can. It's like it's about making the time and sticking to that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
100%.
You know, showing up and scheduling, I think, when you have a busy life and you want the important things to happen, I think that the people who can acknowledge it will also understand that you have a schedule, that you have like times where you can and times where you can't. Yeah. And I think when you find somebody who's willing to work with that, maybe not like break their life for it, but be able to like find a way to accommodate and support. Yeah. That makes a world of difference.
It makes a world of difference. And to be honest, it makes it kind of harder to deal with like certain shit now. You know what I mean? Like it makes it hard for me to like tolerate certain shit. Yeah. Cause like I have to be like aware of the fact that not a lot of people have to worry about the shit that I have to worry about. Maybe like a few of us, like I said, you know, the people that I've already, you know, named and shit. But like not everybody has to think like that. So I have to not only one, be aware of the fact that my time is different, but since my time is different, I have to be able to communicate that shit with those who can't understand from my perspective. So just so that they can be more accommodating if necessary, or I can be more accommodating and we can find that common ground and say, all right, Let's
Yeah.
work.
Now, do you ever just like lead with it right up front when it comes to like kind of like, you know, I guess like for lack of a better term, like the business situations for these kinds of things? Are you like, look, this is my schedule based on this, and this is what I have to work with.
Yeah.
Like other than that, I'm available on these and that's. Like for
Yeah.
instance, you know, I do Casey's Garage every other weekend, and so every other weekend I have to say I can't do anything for the show on these weekends because I have this prior commitment, I have this
Yeah.
life thing, and you know, just as things happen.
Yeah.
So do you ever find like leading with it up front makes it more effective, or have you like given that a go yet?
It definitely makes it more effective. And to be honest, I think a lot more people can appreciate that. And if they don't really say anything, then they know I go by a certain standard.
Exactly.
And they already know how to deal with me moving forward. I don't have to present something where it's like completely different from the shit that I'm showing you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to be like that. Like I want to make sure that when I'm professional, Nate, you know what I'm saying, before he rocked, could attest to this shit that I missed a studio session completely by accident though. Like I wasn't intending to.
Yeah.
I made a mistake and I didn't get my direct deposit right away, and I ended up having to get my check mailed on the day I was supposed to leave. I needed to be out of Portland by 6 a.m.
Yeah.
to get to my session at 1 p.m. Wasn't able to get my check until 2 p.m.
Yep.
Got there by 8 p.m., missed an entire session. And my guy was like, yo, you could have just like slid me the money, you know what I mean, when you went back home, and it would have been no thing. But I'm like, well, one of the guys needed to get paid and he needed the gas money.
Exactly.
And I always wanted to look out, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
feel like being able to approach situations, having that in mind, being able to be that person, it shows people that they can appreciate, one, my business, and two, always can expect the utmost like standards from me, because it's important that I hold myself to those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can respect that for sure. All right. Let's bring things up a little bit, shall we?
Okay.
Tell us about your favorite, or if you have too many, the most wild show you've ever performed at.
I think it was the Flow Show.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And what about it? For the people who didn't go.
It was the Flow Show, and I was like the closer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was getting really nice, man. Like I was on Humility, and people were like really feeling it, and like, you know, just the vibes that I give off and shit, and the types of songs I do. People like the, you know, the vibe and jam and shit like that. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, wait till I get into this wise woman. You just don't know. I was gonna turn up, man, but unfortunately, some weird shit happened. And they kicked everybody out the venue.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and so I never got to perform my final song.
no.
Dog. Never got to perform. I mean, I eventually like took it some other place or whatever, but like it didn't hit the same.
No, when you're in the zone, that's like the moment.
That's the moment, and I lost that moment, and I mean, I learned from it, but like it was a bummer, man. Yeah, for sure.
I feel that. All right, now let's move into some hypothetical questions.
Okay.
These ones are fun.
All right.
If you could work with any one artist or like member of a group or band that's currently alive, who would it be?
Lucky Day. Like automatically.
I swear somebody else said that answer almost exactly that fast. Somebody go back and listen to all of the episodes and tell me if this is true or not. I can't remember who it was, but man, yeah, that locked in. It's a great choice.
Yeah.
Phenomenal artist.
Phenomenal. And you know what's crazy is that like I didn't even like him at first.
I get that.
Yeah, somebody tried to put me onto his music, and I was just like, but it was a Tiny Desk concert, and Tiny Desk concerts.
That's never the best way to
That's
show
not
somebody for the first time.
Exactly.
Like Tiny Desk is how you can appreciate an artist once you've
you
gotten to know them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was so mad because she kept trying to just grill it at me. You didn't even like Lucky Day. You weren't even a fan.
Yeah.
You thought he was trash. I was like, you showed me a Tiny Desk concert.
That is both the best performances, because
Exactly.
like you have to be so limited, but you have to let your performance be the performance.
Exactly.
And so that's like, Yeah, that's like the worst first thing to show somebody.
Why would you do that?
But also, I didn't realize Lucky Day had a Tiny Desk performance, and I'm going to be watching it after
You gotta
this.
watch it. Like
that's
now,
exciting.
now I can go back and watch that shit, and I
Yeah.
can have a way more of an appreciation for
Yeah.
that because now I'm like, okay, I got to feel for this guy now.
Yeah. No, I get that. I get that. Okay.
But yeah, he's the only artist where like, or one of the only artists of a few that I've like listened to both albums all the way through. Mm-hmm. All the way through. Now, I can't do that with a lot of artists. So like, I feel like with somebody like that, I would want to be able to work with someone who can make a body of work stretch for 15 songs long.
Yeah.
And you not get tired of one song. Like you might not want to listen to one because you're not in the mood, but it's not going to be a song where you just don't ever listen to it. You know what I mean? And now from Roll Some Mo all the way down to Love You Too Much off Painted. Stellar.
Yeah.
Amazing. Candy Drip. Dog. And the crazy part is that like I was working at OHSU and it was me and my partner. I wasn't even like aware that he had dropped an album because he hadn't dropped an album yet. He had launched a concert.
Yeah.
And Portland was his first stop. So when I saw it and it was $35 over at the Roseland, I was like, oh, we in there.
Yep.
Bought the ticket. My partner bought the ticket, and then a week before the concert, is when his album dropped, and we listened to the whole thing all the way through. So we got to the
Oh
fucking.
my God. I bet. Yeah.
got there
You just
prepared.
Yep. Man, that was a
Knew
smart
all the words.
move.
People was looking at me like
That was a
"The
smart move."
fuck? Why you know? All this?" I'm like, I listened to the album. That's why
Hell
I
yeah.
listened to the whole thing all the way, man. And we loved it.
Yeah.
We loved it. To this day, like I can't think of Lucky Day without my partner now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just because we shared that moment, and then when like watching him in the rose, and she was looking all kind of weird when he took his shirt off, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck is wrong with you?" You know, I'm standing right here. But yeah, so yeah, definitely Lucky Day is probably like one of the only artists that I would ever want to like do something with. Like if you said Lucky Day's right here, like bro,
Yep.
I gotta
On
leave.
it.
Let's go
On
work.
it. Yep.
Yeah.
I could dig that.
Yeah.
Now, subsequently, who's a local artist that you're aware of, but you like haven't connected with yet? That you would like to, obviously.
I got like a few.
Well, who are they?
Can I name? You want one or you just want?
Yeah,
a few?
you can name a few here.
I name a few.
Yeah.
All right. When? It's definitely one.
Okay.
Danielle.
Okay.
It's another one. Lord Lawrence.
Oh yeah. Hey, shout out Lord Lawrence again.
Shout out Lord Lawrence. And Victoria. I don't want to butcher her name.
I believe it's Yabbit.
Victoria Yabbit.
Yeah, I believe so. Who has actually been mentioned before for this show.
Yeah.
Victoria, if you're listening by chance, you're welcome to come on here. If anybody knows her, please connect us.
Sure. I don't really know too many. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I know a lot of Portland artists.
No, it's
I've
all right.
never like. There's a few that like I worked with Jamie Fortune.
Okay.
That was like, one of the moments where I was like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? We linked up just to like, chop it up, and then we ended up coming with a song.
Yeah.
Those are the only ones that I can think of so far, just because like now I'm on some like more soulful shit.
No, I
used
gotcha.
to be like super rapper. Now I'm like kind of switching it up just a little.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't even say switch it up. I'd say like more adding more nuance to the music.
Adding an additional element.
Yes.
Which is funny
You said
because that
it
actually
perfectly.
that ties into this last hypothetical question.
Okay.
Real well. If you had to pick a completely different genre than any of the ones you've presently done or do, what would it be?
Funk.
Okay. I mean, I feel like that skates the realms of some of the. But you did.
Okay, you're right.
You said
No,
you
you're
don't do
totally
funk.
right.
But
you're totally right.
Let's.
Because I actually have wrote a funk song.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah,
There we
totally.
go.
Honestly, punk rock.
Okay.
I would totally be down for that shit. And it was because Kid Cudi. I said I saw this album from Kid Cudi. Speeding Bullet to Heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard that shit like back in like 2015. And, like looking back, I listened to a lot of music, man, like a whole lot of music. But it was Kid Cudi's Speeding Bullet to Heaven, and it was like a punk rock backyard type of. If one, you like Kid Cudi, and two, you like punk rock, I would definitely like give it a listen. Man of the Night is one of my favorites. Confused is one of my favorites. And it literally like had me thinking like, damn, okay, I already listened to I was listening to like the Sex Pistols at the time, and then like I forgot who else. But I was like, I wouldn't mind like doing that shit.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I could dig that.
Yeah.
Well, now it's on here, so y'all check it out. Let us know what you think. Leave it in the
Absolutely.
comments. This is the commentable thing for this episode. There we go. It's a running bit.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping this up. This comes out early July. What do you have coming up after that?
Okay, so I don't know if me and Nate I think me and Nate, we talked about a date for the project. I mean, they're already so I'm gonna package them. I'm gonna package them. I just want to get the cover art done, so I'm thinking like late July. Don't like late July, like late June.
Okay.
Late
So that
June.
will have like just come out right before this or right after this, maybe?
So that'll be out late June. I got some other stuff that's probably gonna be dropping sometime like later in the summer. I'd say like one in September and then another one in October on Halloween.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I got like another EP that I was like kind of putting together.
Always making moves.
Always, man. I'm
Yeah.
always trying to like stay on top of my game and make sure I got like everything written out. You know what I mean? I got my ideas. Sometimes I can go in the studio, spitball some shit, but like I like to have a forethought and just write some shit out too. So, so I have that plus like a double single that'll drop in like January, and then who knows what happens from there, man. I'm always writing new music, and I always want to take my talents further.
Hell yeah, I dig that.
Yeah.
All right, now for this next part, go ahead and look at the camera. Tell people how they can connect with you.
All right, so you can connect with me on IG. You can connect with me at Raymond Barnett with the underscore at the end. It's always important to get the underscore at the end because no one ever sees it when they're typing that shit out. So you can follow me there. You can also follow me on TikTok at the same handle, Raymond Barnett with the underscore. You can holler at me on Twitter. I got a Twitter page, and it's Ray underscore Barnes, BARNZ. Yeah, man, that's pretty much all my handles, man. Whatever you want to know, if you want to work or if you just want to talk, you want to chop it up, you want to hear some more stories, you want to see more content, man, come shoot me a DM, yo. We can chop it up, we can wrap it up, we can do whatever, man. You know what I mean? And it's Raymond Barnett, That's what I'm here for, man. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anything like that?
Oh, yeah. Let me give a shout out to Elliot Bless over there in Jersey. Let me give a shout out to Lost Like Alex, Laura Lawrence. I see you, dog. Let me give a shout out to the whole Swerve crew over in Northern Virginia. Shout out to my family over there in DC, man, holding it down. Shout out to my baby boy, Mateo, that loves you. Shout out Tiana, my partner, my love. I will see you soon over there in the Marianas, and shout out my man's Why Not Nate, man. 100%. That's the guy that made this whole shit come together, man. He's the reason why, like, I'm going harder now. He's the reason why I'm on top of my game now, man. And I hope to be able to create the best content for y'all to consume, and to not just consume, but like I said, man, let's connect, let's get to know each other, let's share moments, and y'all stay positive, man.
Oh yeah, one more shout out for Nate. He actually suggested you be on the show.
That's my dog.
Yeah,
man.
He was like, I got a homie, and he's solid. And I checked it out. I was like, I bet. So shout out Nate.
Huge alley-oop. Definitely shout out Nate, man.
Yes, sir. All right, now we've got one last question, and this one's a crowd favorite. This is the big closer. This is how we end it every single time.
Okay.
What is your guilty pleasure song? I could tell by the laugh it's going to be a good one.
Can we play it? I want to play it.
It's going to be the audio for the reel when your episode posts.
Voyage to Atlantis by the Isleys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could dig that.
Yeah, it's a really good song. It's a really good song. It's something, honestly, I put on in the house, speaker playing. I got my weed rolled up. I'll always come back to you. And I'm just,
Yep.
It's a vibe, man. Definitely a guilty pleasure song. My top 5.
Hell yeah. All right, y'all. Well, there you have it. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'm going to steal this for just a moment. As always, make sure to like, subscribe, hit all the buttons, do all the things. This was a lot of fun. We want to keep doing this for y'all. We're going to have some big things coming up in a couple weeks, I think, shortly after this. The live show, I got to start shouting that out because we're getting close to it, July 11th. It's at the Shanghai Tunnel Bar, so make sure to go to that. It's got... I can't even think of all the names. Hoochie F's Walker, I Am Zeke, The Upkeeps, Crooked Looks. We've got art by Izzy. Cameron's going to be running sound. Skelly Jelly, aka Max, is going to be doing lights. It's going to be such an experience. So y'all are definitely going to want to check that out. But I got to get that in because it's for the show. But Raymond, thank you so much for joining us today. This was so much fun. I really appreciate it. And y'all, this has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Raymond Barnett.
And we're signing off. Later,
Yes,
y'all.
Peace.
Oh, wait. Before we go, you want to spit something?
Shit. Yeah, you know what? Why not, man? Hold on, let me find something right quick.
All right. We'll be right back, y'all. All right. We're back, everybody. And we're going to go ahead and get on into it. Raymond, tell us what you got.
So I got this new joint I've been working on called Northwest and Lovejoy, man. I've been tampering with it for a couple of weeks now, man. And it's definitely something cool, something special. And I can't wait to share it with y'all, man. So let's get it cracking. Make sure these levels is right, you feel me? It's still a loud beat. Yeah. Yeah.
BeatStars.com.
Yeah. Okay. Been a long week, but an even longer weekend. Acting the ass in her DMs at 11 p.m. Still scarred from a possible BM, but my bars still deliver with each verse. It's back time I start shitting on these niggas. You are witnessing a BM. Depression was a motherfucker, so I became the product, the seed. Originality is a must indeed, so trust and believe. Though shit is tough, I'm keeping up with the rest of the league. I got Tesla speed, I'm problematic when it's necessary. That shit was pertinent in order to be legendary, so it's apparent that you fucking with me. See, everything is off the cuff now. I measure friendships based on who gon' be the first to shoot back and who would be the type to take it lying down. Was a lot of them niggas. Name dropping ain't worth the clout chasing, and quite frankly, I hate the thought of you niggas who swore you was down. See, I'm a good dude, and I fucking own it. Texting Neek like if you want it, better jump up on it, cause iron sharpen iron, we never have dull moments. This that cruising down to 84 with the top down, getting top down, doing 85 in the 60 till I hear the cop siren. Now it's time to duck through Slab Town. Told me to take her to Mount Tabor, she wanna screw with the city in the background. Imagine that, us slow grounded, the in control is the soundtrack. They be like, who is this? Hey, where you find him at? Let's be that maniac. He been doing this since Pontiac, and I'm back.
Woo!
Yeah, it's that groovy shit.
That was solid, man.
That
was solid. Thank you. Hell yeah. All right, y'all. Well, that was a lot of fun for sure. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Go ahead and tell us one more time before we go. Just tell us when they can find that. When's that coming out?
Oh man, that might be out sometime in July. I say like by the end of July, depending on how my engineers, how they work. Usually they're pretty efficient, so you can expect that like by late July or early August.
Bet. All right, y'all. Well, keep an eye out for that.
Definitely.
We're going to go ahead and get up and out of here for reals this time. I'm Jimmy.
And I'm Raymond Barnett.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
Peace.
That's a wrap.
This is not a podcast. This is a show.